Welcome to Japji Sahib Pauri 20. भरिए हाथ पैर तन दे पन्नी तोते उतरस खे मूत पलीती कपड़ होए दे साबुन लाई ओ तोए भरिए मत पापा के संग ऊधो पहनावे के रंग पुन्नी पापी अखा नाही कर कर करना लिख ले जाहे आपे बीच आपे ही खाहू नानक हुक्मे आवर जाहू भरिए हाथ पैर तन दे पानी धोते उतरस खे. When the body, the feet, the hands get dirty while traveling, one can wash away this dirt of the body. मूत पलीती कपड़ होए दे साबुन लये ओ धोए. Soap can wash clean even dirt, even urine, even feces. Everything can be cleaned by soap. परिए मत पापा के संग ओ धूपे नावे के रंग. But when one is stained by papa, pap means sins. When one's mind is always drenched in negativity, then what can clean this? Nave ka rang means the color of the naam or name or shabad or om, the word. So he's put it very poetically. We will make an attempt to understand what he is saying. When you travel on a train, a bus, through the day, you're doing an activity. The body gets dirty, the clothes get dirty, and they can always be cleaned with soap and water. But when you travel through time, the mind gets dirty. You don't have to do an action. You don't have to do any work for the mind to get dirty. Even if you are just sitting and doing nothing, mind gets dirty. How do you wash this dirt away? How does one wash the negativities of the mind? They can only be washed away by the sound of Om or by love. Om is synonymous with love. This word, the first sound of creation, which can be heard even in this silence. This itself is your own awareness. We discussed in the previous podcasts that your awareness and my awareness cannot be different. Even if I take a picture of your awareness, even a picture of your awareness will not be different from the picture of my awareness if we could create a mind camera. That inner core where you and I are the same, where each and every one of us meets at a common ground, that is Om. That is awareness. That is silence. And that oneness itself is love. Now let's try and understand how is it love. It's easy to understand that we are all the same awareness. At that level, we are all one. At the core, we are not different. There is no Dvaitam. There is only Advait. But how is that love? This comes with a little bit of experience and being able to understand your experience. When you start walking this spiritual path, you start seeing that whatever I throw out into the universe, it comes back at me. If I have a negative thought, even if I don't take an action, that negative thought somehow manifests in my life. If I encourage a negative thought quite a bit, somehow it turns around and makes its appearance in my life. On the other hand, when I send out love, I send out vibes of happiness, I send out oneness, that also finds its way back to me. This becomes experiential once you become more and more sensitive. Walking on this path, a person understands that I cannot be angry on somebody else without first burning myself with that anger. Anger is like hot coals of fire. To be able to pick up this hot coals of fire and hurl it at somebody else, I have to be able to pick it up first, right? So I am the one who burns in that anger first before I throw it out. Don't you experience it? When you get angry, you churn and churn and churn inside, in words, in emotions, in thoughts, in ideas, in concepts, in sensations. You're constantly burning. From that burning, you are encouraging more anger and you're revising what you are going to say to your enemy. And when your enemy comes in front of you, you throw out the anger. But before throwing out, didn't you burn in it? The wise one starts experiencing the warmth of that coal, I should say the hotness of that coal. He starts recognizing, oh, ouch, I am burning, and he withdraws. He starts withdrawing again and again and again. And slowly it becomes very clear that if he generates love for another person, instead of hatred and anger, that love finds its way back to him. How? It's not that the love comes from an external person. It is the softness of the mind that is maintained by generating love and compassion. I understand if somebody is being very critical and mean and hurtful to you, it's hard to love the person. But you can be compassionate at least, recognizing this truth that that person has hot coals inside him, burning him. If you see somebody burning on the street, do you get angry with that person or do you have compassion for him? Just because he's a stranger, he is awarded compassion, but this person who is your family member is angry at you. You're seeing that he's burning in hot coals and fire. Why is he awarded anger and hatred? You start seeing this folly and you stop letting anger get the better of you. You start dropping anger. In fact, it starts dropping away because you start seeing the truth, and automatically there is compassion. The same compassion that you would have for a stranger on the street burning in fire. Compassion was the word given by Buddha. It is not different from love. These are just different flavors of ice cream, chocolate, butterscotch, strawberry. But really, they are all just sweet cream. Look at the truth. Love is equal to compassion. Compassion is equal to love. There is no difference there. That compassion or that love is what Nanak is talking about. He's saying that love is the only common experience, the common place, the common ground for each and every living being on this planet. Just like you can wash away dirt with soap and water, the dirt of the mind can be erased by this soap of love or compassion. There's a story about Saint Augustine. Somebody went to him and asked him, "Oh, I don't have time for too many practices. You just give me a single master key with which I can wipe out all my sins." So Saint Augustine said, if you want just a single key, then that is love. Love for each and every one. But this is so difficult to cultivate. That is why don't try to cultivate love or don't try to fake it. You just look within and recognize the truth as it is. Really, when you get angry, is it that you are getting angry at the other person? Is the other person getting punished? Or are you punishing yourself? Simple. When you hate somebody or you generate ill will in your mind for somebody, are you hurting that person or are you hurting yourself? And then you experiment. When you approach a difficult situation with compassion, with love, do you get awarded or is that other person getting awarded really? Our problem is that we want ourselves to be awarded happiness, kindness, generosity, but we want to give others hatred. We want to throw others into a ditch, but ourselves want to sit in a palace. It's not possible. This is the law of cause and effect. Whatever you throw out will definitely return back to you. It's not something that has been devised out of philosophical textbooks. It's something very experiential. You can experience it. It doesn't matter whether the other person understands it or not. You can go within and start making the changes required to transform yourself. Really, the spiritual path is about self-transformation. And there is one part of you that really does not want to transform itself. For example, suppose you make a mistake. You always say a mistake happened. You never say, I made a mistake. Recognize this. What are you doing really here? You are saving the karta, the doer, and you are blaming the karma, the action. We save the doer and we blame the action. Reverse this. Look at it very clearly. The karta has negativity inside. That is why the karta or the doer threw that negativity outside. Do not spare the doer. Do not spare this karta. Then you will learn to transform yourself, however hard it is. पुन्नी पापी अखा नाही कर कर करना लिख ले जाए. Punya and pap, virtue and vice, they do not come merely by words, but they come by action, kar, by action. And whatever action you intend to do, not necessarily land up doing, that is what gets written. Ape beej aap hi khahi. Whatever seed you sow, that is what you will reap. Nanak hukmi aave jahe. Nanak, everything runs on God's command, even the coming and going. Whatever we do, that gets written, means what? That is how karma comes about. The law of cause-effect comes about by our intention. If my intention is good, even if the action externally may seem firm, I do not get the fruit depending on the firmness of the action. I get the fruit depending on what my true intention behind that action is. That is the meaning of kar kar karna likh le jaho. Karma has its own ways of bringing to us what we deserve. So really, whatever you are going through today is something that you have made for yourself. Remember when we were kids, we used to play in the sand, we used to build castles, and then we used to not like our own castles and then break our own castles. Similarly, we have built a castle, whether of hatred, of negativity, of joy, of passion, of lust, so many things in the past. And when we see this castle bring its fruit today, we don't like it and we want to kick it. But really, this is that sand castle that cannot be kicked. It is not made of sand. You will have to go through the karma phalam that you have ordained for yourself. Therefore, Nanak says, recognize that devious little part within you that does not like transformation. There is one part of the mind that does not like the idea of love for others. Let me give you a simple example. On a weekend when all your work is done, cooking, cleaning, taking care of all the errands, and you are just sitting, the mind does not let you just be. It wants to create some noise. If there is no other work to do, it wants entertainment. It wants to listen to some music. It does not like silence. Have you noticed this? There is some hidden animal inside you trying to come out and make noise, even on a quiet, silent weekend when you have nothing to do. Mind is equal to noise. And when you learn to just be, the mind is not comfortable. The mind starts feeling useless, pointless. It feels that it has nothing to do. And that's the beginning of the state of no mind. No mind is equal to silence. Mind is equal to noise. And then mind starts trying to bring up some or the other excuse to make you move away from the state of no mind towards mind. If you understand this restlessness of the mind, you will also understand that it is the same animal within you that resists giving love to others, being compassionate for others. Because when you are compassionate, when you are in love, there is a softness, there is a kind of quietness. That quietness pulls you towards the silence of awareness, towards the silence of consciousness, and that means the death of the mind. The mind likes noise and therefore it resists transformation. It wants to continue the noise. This recognition requires subtleness. One needs to be very subtle in observation and have a keen interest in self-transformation to be able to see this truth. Punni papi akkha nahi. Virtue and vice are not mere words. Ape beech aap hi kahu, nanak hukme aave jahu. Whatever you sow, so shall you reap. It is God's command, O Nanak. That is the way we come and go. The meaning of that is, if you have not exhausted your karmas in this lifetime, you will be ordained to come back. There is no other option for you. Recognize this truth. One comes back again and again just for payback. It's like you have taken a loan. For that loan, you will have to keep working. You cannot stop working even if you wish to. Just like that, coming back into body is work. You will have to keep working till the time you pay off the loan. That is why Mahavir had a beautiful technique. He gave 2 steps. He said, step number 1, all the past karmas that come your way, you let them come and willingly, voluntarily, lovingly accept that situation and do not create new karma. And step 2, do not initiate new karma on your own for any new situation or person or thing. You check, do you have that interest in self-transformation? Let me give you a story. Once a man came to Buddha and he was very angry and he spat on Buddha and went away. Ananda said, "This is wrong. This has gone too far. Why did you let the man go? I know you teach compassion, but this is vile." So Buddha said that it was one of my past karmas. I came to this village only to exhaust one of my past karmas. Now I have paid off that karma. Now let's move on. But Ananda was very stubborn and said, "No, this is not right. This is not right. We should not let it go." Then Buddha said, "See, I have already paid off my past karma willingly, voluntarily, happily, and my account is closed. But you are opening a new account by generating hatred for that man. Do not open a new account and make every effort to close old accounts." So you start closing all accounts now and beware of any new accounts. I'll give you a tip. That which stops you from closing old accounts, especially on the spiritual path, is that little dvandva within you. Dvandva means conflict. There is an inner conflict between 2 opposing forces that exist within you. There is this one force within you that wants to grow spiritually, that wants to transform himself, that wants to attain the highest, that wants to do everything in that direction. And then there is this other opposing force in you that has done all the things that it has done in life, and now it does not want to accept that what it did was wrong. It says that I am good, I didn't do anything wrong, so there is no need for self transformation. If the highest has to come to me, it will come to me. So, really, this negative force inside you does not want you to transform, and this positive force inside you wants self transformation, and they are really opposing forces. This dvandva or this conflict within you could be your obstacle. Recognize whether you have it. Rabindranath Tagore wrote a beautiful poem in Bengali. Of course, I don't know Bengali, but I will tell you the translation in my own words. I don't remember it by rote. All my life I searched and searched. I went to this temple, that mosque, to this saint, and to that priest. I dug into scriptures. I heard talks. I looked for you everywhere. I searched and searched. I wanted to be the one who searches for God. In search of God, I did everything possible. Sometimes I even got glimpses, just as if God was speaking through the clouds in the sky. Before I could get to Him, He would vanish. I thirsted for Him all my life. I waited for Him all my life. This search has continued all my life. Now that I have found His address, I cannot curb my excitement. I have found the address of God. Excitedly, I walk up the street. I know in which house He lives. I climb the steps. My heartbeat skips at every other step. I reach the doorstep and I'm about to ring the bell. And just then, a fear engulfed me. Does this mean that this is the end of the search? Does this mean that all that I have done all my life will all culminate here and now? What if I really find God on the other side of this door? What if my search ends here today? All that I did in my life will lose its meaning. Everything will come to an end. Then what? Where will I go from here? What will I do? That which I know to do will end here. With these fearful thoughts, my hand that had raised up to the doorbell fell down. I realized that I did not want to meet God anymore. I decided to step down, and my shoe knocked the step. That sound made me even more afraid that maybe God hears it and opens the door. I removed my shoes and quietly tiptoed down the stairs, hoping that the door would not open. And I quickly escaped. Even today, I know where God lives. I know on which street to find Him. I know in which house He resides. Even today, I continue my search in scriptures, in texts, in meetings, in talks with saints and priests. My search continues. I thirst for Him to look at me from those clouds, my search continues. I know on what street he lives, but I do not dare to pass that way. I do not dare to pass that house. What if I really meet God? You recognize this dvandva. It is there inside you. This conflict is there. Till the time this conflict exists within you, you will not be able to meet God. You will never ever satiate your thirst if you are stuck in this dvandva. Find a resolution. Have the courage to transform yourself. Have the courage to end it all and unite with the infinite. Come home. You know the street, you know the address. Ring the doorbell. Come home and go beyond that door. Come home.